Good morning, dear students. We were discussing chapter 3, A Horse and Two Goats. We already discussed till page number 60. Today we will continue with the second last paragraph of page number 60. The American was watching the hands of our Muni. He thought that Muni was talking about chopping something. So there had a conversation between this American and Muni about chopping the woods. Muni was totally confused and he felt to stand up and go away. He edged out by saying, "Must go home," and turned to go. That time the American asked Muni, "Is there no one, absolutely no one here to translate for me?" He looked into the empty road. After that he asked, "Is it this statue yours? Why don't you sell it to me?" Muni understood that the American is talking about the horse, and he started to say about the history behind this horse. He said that he is remembering what his grandfather said about this horse and this warrior. Meanwhile, the American interrupted and said, "I don't want to seem to have stopped here for nothing. I will offer you a good price for this." He thought that Muni owned this mud horse. The American guessed by the way our Muni sat at its pedestal. Muni understood that the American is talking about the horse and the warrior. So he started to speak about what his grandfather told him when he was too young. The foreigner listened to Muni's words with fascination. He said, "I wish I had my tape recorder here. Your language sounds wonderful. I get a kick out of every word you utter." But Muni was continuously talking about his childhood. Muni said, "I never went to a school. In those days, only Brahmins went to school, but we had to go out and work in the field morning till night. It is vastly criticizing our society. The upper caste was only allowed to go to school. That cultural and caste-based discrimination is being judged here." But Muni continued, "When Pongal came and we had cut the harvest, my father allowed me to go out and play with others at the tank." Here it is saying about the hard life of Muni. In his childhood, he was not allowed to go to play. He wanted to work in the field, and only during the time of Pongal he was allowed to go out and play out in the tank. So Muni says that, "I don't know the Parangi language which you speak. Even little fellows in your country probably speak the Parangi language, but here only learned men and officers know it." So he was talking about his inability to understand this English language. The foreigner laughed and took another cigarette and offered it to Muni. He looked into the horse and the beautiful designs and carvings, and he said that, "I could give a sale talk for this better than anything else. This is a marvelous combination of yellow and indigo, though faded now." He asked, "How do you people of this country achieve these flaming colors?" Muni now assured that the subject of talk is our horse and not the dead body. And he said that this is our guardian. It means death to our adversaries. At the end of Kali Yuga, this world and all other worlds will be destroyed, and the Redeemer will come in the shape of a horse called Kalki. This horse will come to life and kill all bad men. So that is the history behind this horse and warrior. By listening to this, the American said that, "I will assure you that this horse will get the better house in USA." But Muni continued about the description of the end of the world. Muni said, "Our Pandit discovered at the temple once how the oceans are going to close over the earth in a huge wave, and it will swallow us. This horse will grow bigger than the biggest wave and carry on its back only the good people, and the horse will kick into the floods the evil ones." And he asked to American, "Do you know when it is going to happen?" The foreigner understood that Muni asked some question. So he said that, "I am not a millionaire, but a modest businessman. My trade is coffee." Muni did not understand any other thing, but he struck into the word coffee. And he said, "If you want to drink coffee, drive further up. In the next town, they have a Friday market, and there they open coffee hotels." The American said, "I repeat, I am not a millionaire." And he said about how he is working, about his holiday, the free time which he will get. Then the visitor understood that he spent too much of time here. So he said, "Tell me, will you accept 100 rupees or not for the horse?" And he said that he want to cancel the air ticket and he will take a boat and go home. If Ruth, the American's wife, if she wished to go by air, she can go. But he said that I will go by a boat and keep him in my cabin all the way if necessary. He continued and said, "I have my station wagon as you see. I can push the seat back and take the horse in if you will just lend me a hand with it." And he asked for the help from Munni to take this horse into his car. By listening to all this conversation, at last Munni said that, "I am too happy to have you here. I hope God has blessed you with numerous progeny." He said that he said this because the American was willing to stay beside an old man and talk to him, while all day he was not having anyone to talk and express his wishes and emotions. Munni asked to American, "How many children do you have?" with an appropriate gestures. By realizing that the Munni asked a question, the red man replied, "I said 100. That encouraged Munni to ask, "How many of your children are boys and how many girls? Where are they? Is your daughter married? Is it difficult to find out a son-in-law in your country?" Like this, they both continued their conversation. Each of them was not understanding each other, but they talked about a lot of things. The rest of the chapter we will see in the next class.